Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danni Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello. Such a quick half an hour. Did everybody have time to go and make a cup of tea or have something to eat and come back to catch the next show? Hopefully you had time to get a drink and now you're relaxing again somewhere on the couch or something comfortable, maybe in bed. That would be nice, watching your tablet in bed. Thank you for joining in. I know a lot of you are on the road. As I said before, I've had lots of messages from people heading to different festivals and different shows for the weekend. So thank you for your messages and keep them coming. We love to see the photos and things of what you're doing and the artists that you're out and about listening to. So let us know who you've been listening to this week, who's playing in the car when you're on the way to work at the moment. Let me know. I always like to add new things to my playlist, so let us all know. We've just had a big show with Duncan Toombs. He's been on the road with, as he said, Becky Cole and Adam Harvey, and he's heading out again for the weekend. So thank you guys for tuning in. And now we've got the lovely Rich Webb waiting to talk to us, and he's been on the show before as well. So we've had a couple of people that have been on, and we've got to hear what they were doing for the start of the year, and now we get to hear what they've got planned for this year and into the new one. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments, and we might welcome Rich into the room now. Hello.
Hey, Danni, how you doing? How's things?
I'm good. Hasn't the year flown? It's gone crazy.
It's nearly the end of September already. It's like we've barely started, and all those big plans we got. Well, better get into them now, yeah? We've got 3 months to sort it out.
Exactly. Everyone's saying, oh, you've got plenty of time to the end of the year or Christmas. We don't. Yeah. It's so close. The year's just gone. How have you been since we last saw you? Have you been getting busier and busier music-wise? Yeah,
we've been really busy. We've been playing quite a few shows around Melbourne and into regional areas and stuff, which has been really super. Busy doing stuff. I went on a fabulous 3-day trip doing a video actually out to Dimboola, which is in the regional Victoria, which is fabulous. They have an annual steampunk festival out there, which is it's a fabulous joint. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. I went to an inland Salt Lake and got up there in the morning, and it was like this pink sky and the sunrise rose and stuff. It was just really gorgeous. I tell you, it was so great to get out of the city, to be honest. It was just lovely you came back with lungs full of fresh air and positivity. Yeah, it was real good.
Yeah. It's a different feeling, isn't it?
It totally is, mate. It totally is. But it's lovely. It's lovely being in a big city, as you know. But I'm kind of.
But it's also nice to share it with a bit out of the town as well. So that's where you took the photo that you probably can't see. It's behind us, and in your film clip. Is that where that was taken? That
wasn't actually. That was taken on St Kilda Beach in the windy. Yeah, it was, which is the main beach for those who don't know, in Melbourne, right? And it was right in the middle of it. It was quite fun because the song's called "I Don't Mind At All, Bring On Summer," right? And we actually wanted as much summer as possible. It was the coldest day known to mankind in St Kilda, and I was down there was this lovely photographer, good mate of mine called Wilk, and we were there was just the two of us battling the elements essentially. But the positive thing about it was, if you look too closely at the picture, you'll see I've got sort of red cheeks and stuff because it was so cold. But the positive bit about it was really that kind of it kept everyone off the beach. So we had the whole of St Kilda Beach to ourselves, and this gorgeous, as the sun went down, we had this beautiful sky in the background, and kind of it was super. I mean, aesthetically super, but probably not from a kind of a warmth or
not for the warmth,
general. No.
But it was. You went home to have to warm up, but it sounds like it was worth it because those pictures they're stunning, and it does look like summer. So you've done very well.
Thank you. Yeah, we're busking because it was midwinter in Melbourne when we took them, but we kind of also, and the song's kind of a little bit about kind of that wanting summer to come and the feeling of kind of, when summer arrives and you know that first thing where you suddenly get the sun rays in the back of your neck and you suddenly feel great, and stuff starting, and you just feel 50 times better than you were the day before when I wasn't doing it.
Yeah, and we're all at the point of counting down to that now. I think we've got through winter, spring's here, bit of rain coming, but we're slowly getting into a bit of warmer weather. I know we had a team that early in the week here, and I did sit outside with my cup of tea and my work computer for a little bit, and I thought, oh, this is pretty nice. It's a good taster for hopefully what's coming soon.
So what tea was it, Danni? What did you choose?
I just had English breakfast. It was my morning one, Sometimes I do the Earl Grey, but it's always English breakfast or Earl Grey for morning. But
very sophisticated.
I have to have my tea. Nobody wants to see me before I've had a cup of tea.
Fabulous. I know you feel.
Do you do coffee as well in the morning?
Oh yeah, I've slipped back into coffee through winter, but I made the decision today. I'm back on tea. This is it. I'm gonna live the tea lifestyle.
Yes. What is your go-to? What's your?
I like. There's a couple of beautiful T2 teas that I like. Melbourne Breakfast I like.
That's really cool. Nice, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, and there's one called Blue Mountain. Yes, you got it. And Blue Mountain, there's a Blue Mountain one which has got kind of some blue kind of little leaves in it. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's they're kind of nice, isn't it? And you with no milk at all. No milk. You've got to keep the milk out of it. Not at all.
And just it depends on the tea for me. If I have English breakfast, it's got to have a little dash of milk, but only a very small amount. And same with my Earl Grey. My Melbourne, I've had that both, the Melbourne breakfast, both with and without, and I like it both ways. But that's definitely a teapot kind of tea. You've got to have your teapot, and it's got to have some time to soak those flavors.
Yes, you bet. And there's nothing better, though, is there, really, when you get it right? I reckon. I'm sounding like an old man here.
At the very beginning of, it was the end of last year, we went to this lovely tea shop, which I'd never seen before, and we just accidentally pulled up. A friend of mine that I was helping pack and move away, and we pulled up, and it was right out. We were both very big tea drinkers, right outside this shop, and we both looked over, and it was just a tea shop that had appeared. We'd never seen it before. We've lived here forever and never seen it, and so we went in, and it was a very interesting experience. And the fella said to us, "It's just wonderful. You have to try this tea. It's just like they've swept New York up and they've put it into a box and you have to try it." And then he said the same thing about the Melbourne breakfast one. So that's what got me onto it. He's like, "You just have to try it. It's like they've put Melbourne into a little box." And all I could think was the way he's just describing them sweeping it up, I could see the trucks sweeping it along the road. Yeah. That's a good sign.
Not so positive.
But he was right. It was lovely. I did enjoy it, and I still do. So I'll just never forget that moment. That's how I got onto it.
It's a good drop. You can't lose it.
We've got some lovely people popping in. Jonathan is watching from the UK, and he's just given us some songs to put on our playlist. So thank you, Jonathan. We'll have to add, if you haven't got those at the end of the show, we can go back through the comments and pop those songs into our playlist. And Julie has popped in and she said hi. And what about Yorkshire tea?
Oh, yes. Well, good one, Julie. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, if my mum was listening to this, she'd be up in arms.
Yorkshire Gold.
Yeah, she likes the Yorkshire Gold. Oh, the one with the red label too. In fact, when there was a while there when she used to send me like this big bags of leaf tea wrapped up in socks and stuff, so no one could tell. And it used to come through the mail. It's big lumpy things, and you'd open them up, and there was the big bag of Yorkshire tea my mum had sent me. It was really quite cool.
At least it's making it through customs.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And not getting confused for other things.
Yeah, right. But I bet you did. I bet you still haven't found tea that tastes as good.
Well, no, and I would never admit to it if I had, and that was the different stuff.
That's right. Now, tell us about your latest single. I know that we were talking last time you had a song out, but I don't mind at all. Bring on Summer. You were saying, it's that feeling. But when did you write it? Is it a recent write?
Sort of just. It was the end of It was probably the start of winter. So it's a fairly new song. And I just want.
Been itching for summer for a while.
Yeah, I've been itching for it. I was just hanging out for it, and it's just. I was just thinking about that thing, when you kind of like when you finally you just jump in the car and you just head off on 3 weeks holiday, and it kind of feels like it's going to last forever, right? And it kind of it feels it kind of it's that just the freedom, and every day you just seem to be just something, you don't have to do anything, but you just seem to be busy doing things, and you've left all that nonsense behind. And I don't know, I was just trying to get a song that felt like that, because that's exactly what I wanted to do myself.
Yes.
And it was, and it kind of, I was thinking about more kind of, and kind of like what it was like when I went with my parents and stuff. We used to go kind of years ago. We did a similar thing in England. Like I'm from Yorkshire, or Lincolnshire, Yorkshire border, and we used to go for 3 weeks in a big orange tent in Wales by the sea. And it was, we all kind of, Dad used to set up this massive fort kind of place. But when I was a little chap and doing all this, he had a fort, and he'd built all these things out of aluminium or something for keeping loads of food. And also it was a bit beyond camping, really. It was kind of
a fancy setup.
Yeah, very fancy setup, and particularly for back then. And kind of, it was next to these lovely beaches in Wales, and what I liked about it is you set off in the car, and they seemed, even though we were away for 3 weeks and it was only 3 weeks, it seemed to last forever. You kind of like, we were just, what you did, it just went off, and you just kind of did stuff on the beach, and you got fish and chips or something, I don't know, and maybe a bit of a fish, and kind of like, I just love that bit where it kind of like time just seemed to stand still.
Yes, it does, because you finally slowed down and doing something that you just love doing. And I remember that as kids, when we used to go on our yearly holiday, and it was that you knew the time when the sun was rising or the sun was setting. The rest of the time you were out, you were at the beach, you were in the pool, you were just continually non-stop. You knew that somebody would feed you. Out of all the kids, we might stop at someone's campsite for a feed, but you were gone, and that was your time. You knew what the time was when the sun was going down. That was all you needed to know.
Yeah, that was it. That's the end. That was the end of the day, but there was going to be another tomorrow, and you're probably going to do something very similar. Yeah, it was going to be, and you kind of, you wore the same clothes pretty much for 3 weeks, or some sort of bathing things or whatever.
Yeah. We always used to do our bathers, and we did the same thing over and over again.
So where did you used to go, Danni? Where did you go?
We used to go to Wynyard, which, of all places, which is a little town in Tassie, down past Burnie, and it's probably more of an industrial little town back then. But we used to always stay at the cozy cabins down there for a week to 2 weeks, and we would always meet a couple of families that we didn't get to see through the year, and we would always just see them once a year, and we would always just look forward to that week of being away. And it felt like it went for ages, and it wasn't summer if you hadn't done that. So
that's just exactly, and that's what I was trying to get. I was trying to write a little simple song that kind of captured how it felt like, when you got in the car and did it, and that was all there was to it.
Have since releasing it, have people come to you with their stories that might remind them of summer and that moment where you get away and
it's been very positive. It's a really super live track too. It kind of really works live. There's a certain sort of looseness, I don't know, kind of like a little lovely kind of rollick, like waves coming in kind of feel to it and stuff, and people seem to get really behind it live, so it's kind of like a nice song to play live. And I've had a lot of some positive feedback on it, and we've got a fair few radio spins and stuff like that, so I've been happy, and I've got to come on here and chat to you again.
I know, I'm so lucky. And we've got lots of people in the waiting in the room here. So tell us where you're from and what you're listening to at the moment, because we love adding to our playlists. Now, with this song, you were just saying how great it is to play. Have you been playing it for a little while live? Did you sort of try it out before you decided to release this one now, or was it just felt right?
It just felt right. So we basically got recorded pretty much as soon as it was written. So it was jumped on, and it's actually turning into it's a lovely song. It's the recording's lovely too. It's got some beautiful pedal steel guitar going on behind it as well. And
I love that. Doesn't that sound amazing in a song? Pedal steel guitar. Yes. Yeah.
So it's kind of it's been super song, and we've been busy playing. We've got 3 or 4 shows on the run up to Christmas too, and that's now the 2 singles for the album comes out in December. which
December. I was going to get into that. Are we allowed to read the title? Is that allowed to be known?
Yes,
right.
Yes, it's right. Yeah, with an exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark. Yes.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning behind that being the name?
Because when I want to get stuff done, I always say, right, let's.
Yes, that's your.
So I was just trying to think. I was thinking of what kind of summarizes kind of what we're trying to do with the record, and it came out of that thing I just said. Right, I just think you need to go and write a record and get it done. And so, and kind of that, it almost like was right. Here's the record, and it kind of.
Yes.
There's nothing more to it than that.
It just felt right.
Yeah, it felt right. So I kind of did it. And I put it in capital letters just so it stands out. I mean, that's kind of like advertising 101 from 1952. But I kind of thought I'd give it a crack. And,
why not?
Yeah.
And as I always say to people, you know what feels like it's meant to be. So you do what, you go with your gut, don't you?
Yeah,
now,
it felt right.
Are you going to release any more singles up to the lead of the release of the album? What's your plan?
So there's another single that'll come out with the album called 50 Miles. We're just doing the video for that now, and that'll come out. And also we're doing a video for another track off the record called Blue Wildflowers, which is a lovely song. But that's a lovely song that might happen probably early in the new year. By the time we'll maybe give the album a little bit of time to settle a bit and then put that out, as opposed to doing everything all at the same time.
You've got to get a bit of mileage out of the albums, don't you? Because so much work goes into them to be able to get to that.
Right.
Yes.
That's right. So we're going to give it just a little bit of spin. We've got a launch plan for the Union Hotel in Brunswick, and hoping to get a few extra people down to play some extra things on the played on the record.
What a beautiful venue.
Oh, it's gorgeous, and it's like something from a little film clip in its own right in many ways. It's really, really gorgeous. So we're doing that in December. So if you're in town, please come down. The 10th of December.
10th of December.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll have to pop the link in. Can they get tickets for it, or is it a thing at the door?
It's at the door, but it will be free. So kind of like it's not a venue actually you have to pay to get into. So it's kind of, we're going to make the whole thing free and try and make a whole party make a bit of a party Christmas. About it. Yeah.
Just before it goes crazy for the end of the year.
Yeah, maybe at the start of the craziness, right?
The start of the craziness. Yeah, that's right. So tell us because you've got on your website, you've got two sort of film clips on the thing, and then one is the background with the photo with the different colours and on the beach there, and you've got another. What was the reason for doing those two? Because they're both fantastic.
Yes, it was.
Which one is the main one?
There isn't really a main one, and I think that's that's where that kind of that kind of thing happened. We were just sat on we weren't intending to do the second one on the balcony because it just happened. Now we're in there doing some filming something else, and we could just see that this rain shower was starting to lift, and that the sun was starting to come out. And I just thought if we just play the track quickly and just film this next 30 seconds or 3 minutes, it's going to work. Because if you notice, you get through halfway through the song, all of a sudden the black clouds part and the sunshine starts to come through, doesn't it? And it was just a timing thing that we just thought, well, we might as well just film it because we've got the camera set up here doing something else. Why not do that now? And we have two clips, which is, I think,
I love it.
That's twice as good as one, right?
Yes, exactly. And they're two very different clips. So I was watching them. I thought, I don't think there is a set headlining one, but I just enjoy both of them. So
that's what I thought. Well, you might as well just run with it, right? There's no. Exactly. It's not about favourites.
No, exactly right. Exactly right. No, I think it's lovely, and I love that you've got so much happening again. You know. Yeah. Sorry, I've got a hiccup coming.
You all right?
Sorry. Yes. Very sorry. Oh, it's been a long day, and at least I've still got a voice. I'm happy about that. That's all I can be happy about. Now, tell us though, you've got some shows coming. What are you going to do? Are you going to release the album come December? Yeah. Are you going to get back out there doing more shows next year? What's your plan for sort of the next 6 months?
That's the plan. That's the plan is to actually start getting out of Victoria. So we're going to try and. I think it's about time, right? We actually got our passports changed the currency, did all the stuff we need to do, right? And travelled out of Victoria, Victoria's absolutely gorgeous, but there are other places in Australia. I mean, maybe you need to get to them. So next year we're going to try and certainly head up into New South Wales and maybe get up to Queensland too as well. So we're going to try a bit of a run, and we did sort of get a load of interest when we went out west to Dimboola and those kind of places. They were pretty keen for us to come back and play. So kind of we'll probably head that way. And if we're going to get that far, we might as well head towards Adelaide a bit closer as well, because you're almost 3/4 the way there anyway.
Yeah. So, have you played in those areas before, or will this sort of be your first time in these sort of areas performing?
I used to be this is quite a while back. I used to be in a band called Stiff Kittens, which was a kind of like a sort of sort of surf pop band, I would call them. And kind of it was kind of a 3-piece surf pop band, and we did a lot of touring up actually around Australia. But that's a while back. So with my own stuff since then, which is probably we're talking 15 years ago now. Since then, since I've been doing my own things, it's kind of I haven't actually done as much. I've been remiss. I've got to be braver,
get out there. It's been hard too, because it's been scary to leave our own state over the last few years, because you don't know if you're going to get locked out, or it's been quite a hard thing for you guys to get out on the road. It's nice to be able to see you planning towards that. And feeling a bit more comfortable to do it, which is wonderful.
That's right. And we had a few things actually planned a couple of years that March, that summer that followed the March, when we all got kicked out in Melbourne and ended up doing things. But I mean, this is the way stuff rolls. We're back on the job now. We've forgotten about all that stuff now, right?
Haven't we? Isn't it lovely? You guys are all mask free now.
I think we are. I think I got a message today saying I think we don't even have to wear them on the trams anymore. So it's kind of we're almost there. We're getting there.
Getting about it, but luckily, touch wood, you and I have both stayed safe so far.
Yeah,
hopefully we can stay away from it forever and not catch it. That would be lovely. But it's been a long few years, and finally we're there. But I think one thing I'm noticing is that everybody's starting to get tired again, because we're not used to being so flat out.
You're absolutely right. Not being used to being so busy, are we? We kind of just used to sat in the house.
We're not big fit anymore, are we?
Nah, that's exactly right.
And we're not used to seeing people below the chest. We're used to seeing just heads these days. So it's nice to be able to be back out there and hitting on the road. Now, with the release of one of this single, where's the best place we can get this single? And now
the single is going to be you can get it. It's streaming on all the channels of Spotify and Apple Music and Deezer and all of those things, and you can stream it on there. It's on YouTube, and the album will be, which is I'm just waiting for it to come back, but it should be very soon. We're also doing the album with vinyl, so there will be stuff, actual physical things to actually hold and take pictures of, right? Because it is strange with this digital single release that kind of you just wonder what it is you actually did.
And I miss the covers where you can read what the musicians were and read the thank yous and read, even read the lyrics or the musicians that played on that song and who it was written with. That's part of the whole experience of a song or an album for me. I think it's so good to see people rushing back to hard copies of things, and I love vinyl, so I think that's even more exciting that that's coming back in as well. Is it something that you had to really think about what you're going to release on? Is that something that you found hard to work out in what format you were going to release things for this one?
Yeah, I just thought too, for this song, it had to be digital, because I just don't think there's any market anymore for people to buy CDs and things like that, just the singles anyway. But I did think kind of so, and it didn't. I think for the album, I did want to do something sort of physical. So I think there's something nice about, if I go see a band and really like them, I like to take a little piece of something away. And even if you listen to it on Spotify, you've still got the album there, right?
Still got the album signed. Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
But it's been mastered for vinyl too, so it should actually sound really beautiful and lush and rich and dark and stuff. So hopefully it's going to sound really cool on there too.
I'm very excited.
Are
you going to pop up some pre-order links for that album before release? Is that your
Yes,
plan?
absolutely.
Pre-order, pre-save, pre-order. Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We'll definitely have to pop that over on the page as soon as you get that ready, so that people can start looking. I know we've got, you've got how many songs on the album, right?
There's 9. There's 9 songs. 9 songs, yeah. So you'll have heard 2 of them before it comes out, and then the
one on release.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me, did you find it hard to pick what songs were going to make the cut?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That's a good question. And yes, and there are a few more still left, so we're gonna have to see. But kind of, I also think too is like I reckon people are listening to full albums less and less in many ways. Listen to songs, so I didn't actually want to put everything on it.
No,
like have 15 songs, because it's kind of like you're going to ask someone to list for an hour and a half, and maybe the songs are sometimes maybe make sense later on doing something else. I don't know. I'll have to see, or maybe we use them as another single later on. I don't really know how it's going to work out, but I thought I'd just choose the 9.
Yeah.
So I just I chose the 9. I thought that sort of worked together best as like a whole, it doesn't really tell a story from start to finish, but it feels like they all sit together. And it feels they seem to make sense sat in a box by themselves, and I'll leave the rest out.
I know, isn't it hard though? Because I have that conversations with artists a lot. How did you pick it? And it must be because they all mean so much to you. It'd be so hard to go, well, that one's going to make it and that baby's going to wait, and it's just such a hard. I think I'd be putting them in a hat and just drawing them out randomly, because I don't reckon I can choose.
You might end up with just as good a result, because I do think I think sometimes when you do all that, you get so close to stuff that you kind of almost stop. You can't see the wood from the trees, right? You sort of love them all, or there's something bugs you about them. Or so. I don't know. I love them all, so it's gonna.
Yes.
But I'm happy with how it ended up, and plus also with vinyl too, right? You once 20 minutes aside is roughly what you've got, and if you go much longer than 20 minutes, your volume of the music has to reduce.
Yes.
So if you've got a 25 or 26 minutes on each side, it ends up, the vinyl ends up being like 5 or 8 dBs, or some technical amount of volume less. Wow. So the longer you make each side on a vinyl record, right, you lose actual volume of the actual whole of the vinyl.
You're right.
While volume's not the be all and end all, right, because you just turn it up, but it kind of does make a bit of a difference.
It's like when you listen to the TV or anything, and you've got to turn it up for certain things. It's annoying. So you do want to have something that's, you can set it, and roughly that most of your current albums coming out will be at that kind of quality and level.
Totally. So kind of
another side that I hadn't thought about was trying to condense it all down.
Yeah. So apparently 18 to 20 minutes aside is apparently optimum. So that's kind of what we shot for, and it works out lovely with our 9. It works out like that too. So we're very happy about the whole thing.
Perfect. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting to hear that you've got that coming out. Again, where can people hear you in the coming weeks? You said the Brunswick Hotel. Is there anywhere else people can pop in to see you play?
Yeah, we're playing at the Old Bar, which is a fantastic venue on Johnson Street in Fitzroy on Wednesday, the 12th of October.
That's not far away.
Not far away. And I think it's the 30th of October, and if it's a Sunday, the 30th of October, and we're at the Brunswick Artist Bar, which is on Sydney Road in Brunswick, obviously. Lovely. And so there's those 2 shows. Yeah, it's going to be really super. So if everyone fancies popping down, please come down and say hello. Yeah,
say hi and send us photos, because I can't be everywhere and I miss not being at gigs. So send us photos. We love it down here. Well, we'll have to get you down to Tassie soon too.
Love to, Danni.
Got lots of festivals, lots of different things starting. So plenty of music room.
Sounds fabulous. I'd love to. Really love to.
Now, I know we were going to talk to you about, we're going to look at doing maybe some requests for our song lists from you. We might do some lists on the page later on and do some different things over the next few months. I was talking to your publicist and things like that about all that. So we've got lots of exciting things to come up. But I hope when you get that pre-order link, we can share that on the page and people can jump on that once it's ready to order and get it before it's released.
Fabulous. Thanks, Danny. I'd love that. That'd be brilliant. That would be really cool.
Yes. Oh, half an hour. How has that happened tonight? We've just talked so quickly. The time's just disappeared on both of the shows tonight. Shows that we're having fun, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's been loads of fun.
It has. It always is. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we go, it's Rich Webb Music on Facebook. Is that right? Your page?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Rich Webb Music on Facebook. And is it Rich Webb Music on Instagram as well?
I think it is. I'm not absolutely sure. But there's a website also, rich-web.com. There's a website which has got all the social stuff across the top. So you can
and I've also popped in the comments at the top for you guys to have a look at the film clip, but make sure you subscribe because there are 2 clips there to have a look at and lots of other things. So make sure you subscribe while you're there and enjoy. Let us know what you think. You can pop the comments in the comments later on and let us know what you think if you go and watch the video clips and tell us your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. So, and Jonathan is saying goodbye. He said it's always fun and we're very lucky. Jonathan's watching from the UK, so morning time over there. How's it been actually? Over there would have been so crazy the last 10 days. So busy, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How have you been hearing from people over there at all and all the craziness?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like it is kind of like an end of an era kind of thing, isn't it? It's kind of like it's like a history book chapter changes. Whatever happens now, the chapter's ended, new chapter starts.
And it's such a big change too, like a really big change because for most of us, we've known nobody else doing that role, and now to go from it's a complete jump, and it probably shows us not to take things for granted a little bit as well.
Totally, absolutely.
Yeah.
Stuff moves on.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know that I can talk forever, so I'm sorry to hold you up. But we will so next week, guys, I am actually going to be traveling for music. So I'll be in Queensland. If you want to come down to Bonessa's show on Thursday night at Beanley Tavern, I'll be there. So come and say hi if you're nearby. Bring your friends because it'd be great to actually get out and see some of you in person. I'm a bit unsure that I've got to find some trousers that actually look okay, not pajama bottoms, but other than that, I'm excited to come out and see you guys. So we will be doing some lives from different shows, but we'll be back into the swing of the interviews the following week, and we've got lots coming up. So we will see you all very soon. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure being here, Danny. Thanks for having us on Country Kickback.
Anytime, come back at the end of the year so that we can have you on for the next release.
Love to. Absolutely love to.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.